What's going on, guys? It's Victory, and I hope you enjoy the start of a brand new series. Now, originally I would have introed the video in the actual video itself. However, I have found out that there is an issue with my audio device when it comes to recording outside of the game itself. So for the first 3 episodes, I believe 3 or 4, I don't know how many I recorded that day, there was a small issue with opening the video. However, I will always be here to open it for you, so welcome to this brand new beautiful, beautiful series that we have begun on this channel. I will go into it more in depth when the video begins. All I can say right now is don't forget to check me out at twitch.tv/VictoryTGH, and if you are viewing this video and you are not subscribed right now, we are only 29 subscribers away from our 100 subscriber goal by the end of the year. So click that subscribe button. I promise you will not be disappointed. This is going to be our decade. We've got this. I will see you guys in the video in about a second for you. Peace. And the world is already on its way to being created. Let's see what we get. Hopefully we don't get fucked and get an island right off the bat. If we do, we'll just have to work with it. You know, we'll see what we can do. That's going to be the beautiful thing here, is I am not going to try and make any effort to push it to be something. We're going to make it whatever it is. And there it is. This is our beautiful new world. My sensitivity's a little fucked. Hold on. All right, so this looks like the beautiful world we've been given. Is actually a nice starting location. We spawned right here in the little forest. We have a lot of room to work with here. Now, I've tried to record this game many times in the past to try to start up something like this, and my biggest issue is I never have a good set of pacing. My goal here is by the time at the end of these, like the first 3 videos, we will have a list of goals to achieve, and they may be short-term, they may be long-term, but I guarantee you this will be just as exciting as it could possibly be. Now, my brain's really tempted to just try to rush my way into getting like stone tools and immediately start mining, because I used to play UHC religiously on servers and stuff all the time back in the day. I used to play Reddit UHCs all the time after the servers, like after servers died, when they stopped like funding them. There used to be some amazing UHC servers, but after people just stopped showing up, oh, I forgot to throw on my extra lively default. But after the servers stopped being like funded, all you could really do to play UHCs was to look for, there was a Reddit page, uhc.dg, I think it's still up. It's just a lot of the games are a lot farther and few and far between. I used to play them all the time on my little old HP laptop before I even got like a working computer or like a nice gaming PC. And so I eventually got to the point where I was very, very good at Minecraft PvP until the combat update. And when the combat update came out, I was very against it for a very long time. I thought that it had changed everything. If you were a competitive PvP player, things had changed drastically. Not only were like combos impossible, but that timer was so awkward to most people until you had played the game for so long with it that it just became natural. And so I put it off for a while. I decided to stop playing any kind of PvP based game. When Bed Wars and Egg Wars came out, I think Egg Wars stayed on the 1.8 update for a very long time. But once it changed, I stopped playing it for a while and I switched to just doing solely survival worlds and hardcore worlds. And as a matter of fact, I think that's when I first discovered my enjoyment for playing like Sky Factory and other mod packs like that. I'd always played mod packs from like a very young age, but I didn't necessarily have an enjoyment for any kind of skyblock related thing. I thought it was a dumb concept. I really liked the mining aspect of Minecraft. One of my favorite mod packs back in the day was Divine RPG, which was really good, but it was the main mod that carried. And the day they stopped developing it, it was very disappointing. But I think a legacy developer bumped it up to 1.7.10, and originally Divine RPG stopped at 1.5.2 or 1.6.4, one of the two. And when they bumped it up to 1.7.10, I immediately jumped back into playing like Minecraft a lot. And it got me thinking about going and trying again. And so I like going and trying PvP again because I had enjoyed playing hard Minecraft again. Like Divine RPG was in and of itself a hard mod pack to play. As a matter of fact, for Vivecraft, when I play VR Minecraft, I do have that mod installed. but it got me interested in going back and trying Minecraft PvP one more time. And when I did, I eventually started a survival world in I think it was 1.10.2 at the time. And I started trying to get a feel for it because I was modding 1.10.2 and just trying to get myself used to that swing cooldown. After a while, I actually managed to get it down pretty well. I wouldn't say I was ever at like a professional, like I'm nowhere near like the top Minecraft PvP YouTubers in any way. I've seen some insane shit like on these games, especially like Hypixel Bed Wars clips are unbelievable to me. But I do believe that when it comes to like playing like a 1.9 and beyond, like Combat Update and beyond, like Hunger Games or anything along those lines, I do pretty well compared to the average person. And that really rekindled my enjoyment of this game. And I really wanted to do a hardcore modded survival world. But my biggest issue was trying to, one, run the game while recording it with a bunch of mods installed, and two, survive in hardcore for more than 5 minutes because apparently I struggle with hardcore mode if I'm recording. It was a very bad plague I discovered, and especially when I decided to try to go for an ultimate hardcore world that I did upload on this channel, the video where I had Lycanite's mobs installed. And Lycanite's mobs is a mod that installs Doom like inspired creatures that are just unbelievably overpowered in ways that you don't understand unless you actually face those enemies. That was probably the scariest shit I had ever experienced, because I had dealt with Lycanite's mobs before on like Mad Pack and stuff like that, and I had already known I don't like those mobs. But I figured what better thing for content than to play with mods that make me unbelievably uncomfortable and terrified. And I will admit, it was a fun experience. It was a funny video to go back and watch, but I would never do it again. There were many other times where I attempted to do Minecraft-based content. I used to stream on my SMP server, not the one, I didn't own it, but it was an SMP server I was a part of for a very long time called Oxeye SMP. I used to have a bunch of footage of it before I did a wipe on all my VODs. And it was really fun. I don't know if I'm still whitelisted on that server. I could definitely give it a try just to see if they might have forgotten that I am on the whitelist still. It's not like they don't like me or anything. It's just after not being on there while I was moving to college, I didn't let them know. So as far as they know, I was an inactive player. But it was a real fun game. It was a real fun server. I built a lot of good stuff back then. My house, my entire mountain range I had redone on stream. And I know a few people were there to watch it come to fruition. I covered this entire gravel-based mountain range, gravel and snow-based mountain range with grass, which reminds me, hold on. That's better. I covered my entire mountain range with this kind of grass because it made it look really nice. If you didn't use connected grass, it kind of just looked kind of ugly, but for me, it was beautiful. And in my texture pack, it was an amazing spot. I eventually worked with the server to create a railway. I had decorated my part of the Nether hub. I had done so much, but I didn't record any of it, and I really feel like I should have, but at the point, I had felt like I had already played for too long for it to make sense. So I kind of just let it be and said that eventually I would sit down and, you know, record an actual series, and yet here we are. And I've had many attempt. It's not worked out so well, but I have a really good feeling about this one because this one I'm actually dedicated to getting done properly. I don't have any worries or hangups about getting something done so quickly. My biggest issue was always building a house that first episode, and it looked ugly and it was in a really bad place. I decided to settle early. This time, not so much. This time I am fully free and willing to go as long as it takes to find a beautiful area to start our nice little world in. On top of building nice like structures, I also enjoy doing a lot of the farming, and I slowly got into redstone farming on the server. Like the standard like cow farm, automated cow vending machine farm is one of my favorites, but as well as creating like maximized wheat and sugarcane farms and stuff like that. It's stuff I haven't dived into too much, but I would love to try because it's one of my favorite aspects of the game. Is the farming. just because it feels so peaceful and nice. I used to run a Attack of the B Team server with a couple of friends of mine, Team Victory, and for the short few weeks that it existed, because we completed the entire mod pack in a short span because it was a break from school, and that's all we did at the time. Come on, buddy. But when I had made the Attack of the B Team server, I had made a giant farm, and it was probably one of my favorite achievements because it was just a very beautiful display. It had a bunch of different trees. I don't know what mod pack was, or I don't know what mod was actually in. It wasn't Attack of the B Team. My Attack of the B Team server was when I built in a nice mesa biome for the first time and had an automated door and a bunch of cool XP systems underground and stuff like that. It was a VictoryCraft server, which was a mod pack that I made that still exists on the Technic launcher somewhere for 1.7.10. That was mostly adventure and RPG focused with a little bit of tech sprinkled in. Before we finished that, I had a giant Pam's Harvest Craft farm, and that farm was filled with a bunch of fruit trees and was organized by each individual item, and it was a very large farm. It had a barn and a nice whole setup around it, and it was honestly one of the best things I ever made. I have some screenshots of it that I can put up right now from that server. My house wasn't very nice. I kind of tried to make it out of the ugliest wood possible and just see what stuck. I made it into a pirate ship house, and eventually it got done. I also managed to make a bunch of other cool structures at the time, as well as getting a bunch of villagers to guard my island. Unfortunately, that mod pack has Divine RPG in it, so those guards did not last very long. Because some of the mobs tended to spawn on my area even when it was well lit and murdered them very quickly, even if I gave them really good armor. So I will not lie, I have played this game a very large amount, but for some reason when it comes to some of the important things to do in the later versions of the game, I just never got around to it. The example being, once the Guardian Temples were created, I was never really quite sure how to go about them. I didn't really enjoy the idea of exploring the ocean that much, and water-breathing potions were a pain in the ass to make. Potions in general were a pain in the ass to me, so I just never really tried for it. Same with an End Village. I did have a video, or like a clip from when we beat the Ender Dragon on the Oxeye server. I love those guys to death. I hope they make something new that I can jump back on for and maybe, you know, stream on there. But there was a clip of me trying to build my way to an end city because everybody on the server had elytras already, because you could buy them in the shop for a certain amount, but I wanted to visit it legitly. And I tried and I tried and I tried, but I never ran into anything, no matter how far I built out. And so as far as how to go about it, I still don't understand how it works in its entirely. And it definitely wouldn't have worked on a hardcore series, so. And what really excites me about this is exploring the new Nether for the first time on camera, because I saw the update and I was very concerned about how much of a struggle it would be to handle. The closest I have come to interacting with anything regarding the new Nether was when I jumped on the Oxeye server one last time, was when they did that Nether update, and I saw one piglin and it attacked me immediately. I died and I gave up. So as far as how it works, I am clueless. So hopefully, I'll be able to figure something out along the way. It does not appear that I have found anything of importance. I have found this, and I don't quite know what it is, but I think we're gonna jump into this cave instead. Well, there was some coal in here, so at least, oh! Huh. If that's a spawner, that's honestly stupid luck. It makes it look real bad. And that's exactly what it is. I think it's a zombie spawner as well. I probably more would have preferred a spider spawner, to be completely honest with you. But a spawner's a spawner. Alright. Let's see. What do we got here? Hey, buddy. All right, let me just move, please. Out of the way. Sir. Sir, I've got a job to do. Please leave. I'm gonna have to... Okay, here. Fuck it. Woo! I'm not as worried about it because I don't have to worry about my death meaning anything. It's really dark in here. What the hell? Oh, it's smooth lighting, isn't it? It was not apparent to me until just now that none of my settings were on. Alright, just standard rotten flesh, gunpowder, and a music disc. Awesome, alright. Beetroot seeds. I've never actually used beetroot, like, ever. Golden horse armor, that'll be nice. And cat. That's a sick music disc. Okay, so I have marked the location of this spawner, and I will come back when need be. Alright. Oh, and there's a cave right next door. What are the odds? Let's go ahead and get up some more of this coal. I think my goal for this episode is to get this nice set of iron armor to start us off so that when we move on to the next bit, we're all nice and set up. And that includes tools as well. Does this go down any farther? Yes, it does, and there's some iron right here. Awesome, okay. This is working out really well. I can even come back and get that water if need be. Now, I will say when it comes to strength versus weaknesses in this game, building has always been one of my biggest weaknesses, and I've tried and tried, believe me, to understand the proper ways to build so that it looks nice. And I've watched tutorial after tutorial, and even then, I have no clue how to make something look visually pleasing. The best I can do is maybe do like a nice layout on the inside, the way that the house is shaped. But when it comes to like little design pieces, like actual like aesthetic touches on the outsides, like I know a lot of people use like trap doors and stuff to make little depth and stuff, and fence wall or stone walls and stuff. I have no clue. My brother was always really good at that. I was more combat focused, but I really do want to create a work of art here on this series. We're at 19, and I think this might be the full set. Let's see where this cave goes to. And I have the music on at like 3% in the background because it's really nice. It's nice for me. I don't even know if it'll be picked up on video, but it's very, very nice and soothing. And I realize it's one of the few games that I actually listen to while I play it. Fuck. I completely forgot that mobs existed for a second, so my mind just went completely blank. Another thing that I need to remember to get in the habit of doing is using a shield. I was one of those people who really didn't like the idea of shields when the combat update came out, so I refused to use it, kind of like how I refused to block in fighting games. So I need to get into the habit of having one on me. And it's a very easy thing to use, it's just I never really understood it. Or I understood the concept and the application, it made total sense. I was just very against it, like how I'm very against fishing rods as well. Holy fuck, what is that? That's a stray. That is a stray. That is a stray is what that is. Whew. I was not ready for that. It is a very good thing I have oh, okay. I have training specifically for this kind of thing. I'm very good at mob clearing, but if something comes up behind me and kills me, I am very fucked. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. See, you know, just, it was a small setback, but we are fine. And it's only slowness 1 for 5 more seconds. And this looks like it might be the end of the cave. All right, let's get this smelted up, throw on the gear, and then we can celebrate. I was talking about it the other day with one of my roommates, and I was thinking about the idea. I do have a lot of footage from when I used to stream and record as like a 11-year-old on my old family computer back home. And I want to kind of rip out that hard drive and see if I can connect it to this computer and pull up the contents of it. Oh, that'll be an amazing set of stuff to go through. I think if I didn't delete it, there's even footage of us playing, of like me and a couple friends playing Herobrine's Mansion on the Hypixel server when the adventure lobby was a thing. And oh boy, were those fun times. I don't even know if there were other, I used to record with Fraps at the time. And Fraps is honestly not very good to record. I mean, it's good bare bones wise, but when OBS and even Streamlabs OBS, which is what I use now, is free, there's really no point. I get it, Fraps is lightweight, but like, you're kind of doing yourself a disservice. I actually also used Bandicam back in the day as well. Not for very long because I didn't like the idea of watermarks ever. So I moved to Fraps very quickly, and I even pirated Fraps as an 11-year-old so that I could use it without, I don't know what Fraps needed a membership for. It was either the watermark or it was the getting rid of the FPS button or the FPS counter or some sort of time constraint. Whatever it was enough to make me want to pirate things as a kid. Nowadays, I don't really condone piracy, but I'm not gonna say anything if someone else does it. I just personally don't do it for legal reasons. One of the things I definitely don't support is pirating games like Minecraft, which is just a dumb thing to do. This game deserves all the support it can get, and I know it's racked in tons and tons of money, and plenty of people have bought extra accounts, but I mean, it's never worth pirating. It doesn't feel the same either, not having your own account with your own skin. This is a skin I made myself too. I took the only bit that isn't mine is I took the hair because I was really keen on this hairstyle, but I couldn't do it myself. Everything else is custom done. It's actually the chest piece and the legs are from an old skin that I had that had the standard normal one. It was from a skin that had the standard normal hair over one eye thing, and it was very colorful. I turned it into a black with like black jeans, because that's actually what I wore when I was around that age, like 13, 14. And funny thing, I've still never fixed it, but on the bottoms of the feet, the textures aren't on there. It's just blank. And it's kind of obnoxious to look at for me personally, but I'll never go in and change it because it just feels like it's too much work. I also never want to work with the jacket or pants thing that gives your character depth. It doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel the same either. Maybe I'm just really like, I'm like the equivalent of a Pokemon Gen 1er for Minecraft. I'm very reserved and only want to keep true to what it used to be like. And that's very false for other things in my life. And somehow I managed to babble on for that entire time, and we've hit our full set of iron. And we've done an amazing job with how quickly we've done it. It actually only took about 30 minutes. So I think our next goal is either, I haven't decided yet, we'll either continue our mining trip and look for some diamonds, or we'll go up to the surface and continue to try to find a nice place to live. And random cut. Obviously there was an audio issue, as I said, will be fixed by episode 4-ish, I hope. Either way, I'm just here to say thank you so much for watching this video. If you've gotten this far, comment pineapple in the comments down below. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. I have been Victory, and I will see you guys real soon. What you got to lose, 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 got to lose. I won't give up, I won't back down till the line 6 feet underneath the deep ground. I won't give up, I won't back down, cause nobody's stopping me except for me now. I won't give up, I won't back down till the line 6 feet underneath the deep ground. I won't give up, I won't back down, cause nobody's stopping me except for me now. Honest, life's a competition, so if I'm going to play, then I'm gonna play to win it. I refuse to sit and rot at a desk all day unless I have a passion I'm working towards, okay? I'd rather be dead on the outside than inside. A bullet to the head than 25 to life in a cubicle alone, just trying to get by, building someone else's dream instead of building mine. If you're hearing me, this is meant to inspire. If you have a dream, or if you have desires, a girl in your life that's making you feel that fire, go fight for her man, go die for her man, cause you only have one life, one chance to do it, one chance to prove it to yourself, so don't lose it. You got this, fam, just keep pushing on through it. One day you'll look back so glad you pursued it. Yeah, things are gonna get better real soon. Yeah, I'ma just do me, you just do you.
I swear it's gonna get better real soon. Don't let anyone tell you what you should do. I got a clear view. We're gonna make it soon. Just keep pushing through. You're what you got to lose. You're what you got to lose. You're what you got to lose. Just keep pushing through. Cause what you got to lose. 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 I won't give up, I won't back down till the line 6 feet underneath the deep ground. I won't give up, I won't back down, cause nobody's stopping me except for me now. I won't give up, I won't back down till the line 6 feet underneath the deep ground. I won't give up, I won't back down, cause nobody's stopping me.